Hey folks, just to say I've been thinking about producing some merchandise for the channel, and I'm thinking about getting some t-shirts made that say he made some valid points. Because let me tell you something, since I put the ownership of Codeigniter on the chopping block, this is all I've been hearing. I went on the forum and everybody thinks DC's an asshole and he's a shyster and he's just, I don't like the guy or anything. But he made some valid points. He made some valid points. It's basically the phrase of the week, you know. And here is the what on earth is he? He's the project lead, saying, "Did he raise some valid points? Sure." It got me thinking about the vision of the framework, which I've never sat down and defined. It's something we should all probably discuss in a different thread, of course. I have to say, I find that incredibly weak. Here you are, about to take my ideas, my inspiration, the genius of the web developer extraordinaire, and you're going to take that, you're going to go through all of the points I made one by one, and then you're going to say, hey Charlie, could you update the homepage? Hey Chico, could you change the headline? Hey Starsky, could you do this and could you do that? You're going to toddle off to some other thread, some little quiet corner of the web, and you're going to delegate to that little committee very quietly. Going to have a few little tweaks, little tweak there, little tweak here, and then you'll all congratulate yourselves on a job well done. I think that's pretty darn weak, to be honest with you. But in any event, good luck with your endeavours to find a purpose. I, on the other hand, am whooping major frameworks twice before breakfast and 3 times after lunch. I made over 250 Codeigniter tutorials, more than anyone else on earth. Here's a Codeigniter app I made with 1 million lines of code, and not one of you mentioned me, thanked me, sent me out a tweet or anything like that. And you did not mention me, not because you're nasty people, but because you're completely out of touch with your own user base. You have no clue what's going on out in the web development industry. You've been playing catch up with the other frameworks for about 6 years. You have no innovation to bring to the table whatsoever. You're all out of ideas. You're done. I looked in the forum, having not updated the homepage for 6 years. Suddenly, everybody's appearing and you're all falling over yourselves as you volunteer to do stuff. Well, I tell you what, man, I think it's all too little too late, and I'm going to give you a big declaration. Let's end the video with a bang. I'm thinking about initiating a takeover bid because I think that the wider Codeigniter community, who do not hang about that lion's den, that forum, that hen house, the wider Codeigniter community would agree with me. And I think it's a real convenient thing to write me off as some guy who's wanting to hang on to an older version of a framework. But in reality, I think you are the people who are clinging on to the past. Go listen to Ryan Dahl from Node.js, and now Dino. Listen to what he says in all of his presentations when he talks about the problems with Node and the problems with NPM. You listen to those lectures and just replace the word node with PHP and replace NPM with packages, and you've got me, because I stand in agreement with that guy. That's the league that I'm in line with. And I think that it was a real shame that you inherited a top 2 PHP framework. Think about the resources that companies like Google and Facebook are pouring into their frameworks. You inherited a top 2 framework for a technology that powers 80% of the web, and you utterly squandered it. Now you're scuttling away like a pair of ragged claws to go and steal more of my ideas, thankless of course, and you're going to do a few tweaks and you're going to think that maybe that'll fix things. Well, I don't think it'll fix things. And I want to say something else. Not only am I considering a takeover bid, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I'm also, now, as of today, I'm calling this the desecration of Codeigniter. That's what I want it to be called in the future. I hereby coin the phrase, this is the phrase. Ladies and gentlemen, In case you don't know, back in 2008, Rasmus Lerdorf, the founder and creator of PHP, said that Codeigniter is his favourite framework. He said it's his favourite framework because it has a small footprint. Are you paying attention? It has a small footprint. Even when you go to the Codeigniter page today, it says right on the home page, it's the very first point. Look, very small footprint. Well, here's what happened post Ellis Lab. Here's what they did to the small footprint. And everybody's entitled to a little line on a copyright notice. That's normal, that's fine. But these are large legal declarations that are all basically saying, this is mine. And they have the audacity to say, why don't you fork this? Do you think I'm going to fork this? What kind of an impact do you think this has on the small footprint? You pissed the small footprint down the drain. You threw away the family jewels. And I haven't done the calculation yet. But I would not be surprised if your legal declarations of we own this actually take up more space than the actual code and the framework. I would not be surprised. So let this outrage forever be referred to as the desecration of Codeigniter. You absolutely squandered and wasted that framework. I even had the forum admin a couple of days ago saying, it's madness to think that you could compete against big tech. Well, maybe he should go learn about Laravel and Symfony and Vue and all of the other technologies that you may love, you may hate, who cares? But one thing you have to respect is that all of them were created by lone developers who were unfunded, but they were passionate and they had the confidence and the courage to bring something unique to the marketplace. And they went out there, not only did they compete, often they won, and they continue to win happily and joyfully, unlike you deadbeats hanging about awarding each other 10 out of 10 for managerial skills. Death by committee, while real businesses and real developers suffer. My declaration is clear. I am considering, I say no more than considering, a takeover bid. Here's what that would look like. I would go to the people of Codeigniter. We don't know who the owner is. Nobody knows who owns Codeigniter, by the way. That shadowy owner, we have no clue, right? But I would go to them and I would say, I would like an opportunity to gracefully state my case. I would like an opportunity to debate, manifestos, the whole shooting match, ultimately ending with a fair election for the wider community. You say that it's a community, let's put it to the test. I would like an opportunity to make the case. I'd like an opportunity to have a vote. Now, if that declaration was made, they would have to go with it. I'm absolutely sure they would. Their integrity's not that bad, right? In fact, their integrity's not even in question. I think they're probably good people. What we're talking about is just managerial incompetence. That's all it is. So I am considering a takeover bid, and never have your comments and your thumbs ups and your thumbs downs been more important. In the meantime, I do hope that you consider purchasing my latest merchandise. It's the He Made Some Valid Points t-shirt. I'll catch you later.